There was an archer who was boasting his prowess in front of a master. The archer took his arrow, placed it on the bow, and shot the arrow at a distant target, hit the bull's eye. He placed another arrow on the bow, shot again, and this time this arrow went and hit the first arrow, bang on target. The archer turned to the master and said, "What do you think about that one?" The master smiled at him, said, "Accompany me." And they started walking up the mountain. And the master was taking this archer high up the mountain, and they reached the cliff and found that they were right on the edge of the mountain, and the edge of this mountain was connected to another mountain with a narrow dangling log of wood. The master turned to the archer, and without making another sound, he stepped onto that log, and this log was overseeing a huge chasm. It was such an abyss that one could not even imagine stepping onto that log without having full confidence in one's ability to balance. The master very coolly went right to the middle of that log, which was placed between the two mountains, turned around and took the arrow and put it on the bow and hit right at that same target again. Stepped back from the log onto the cliff, turned to the archer and said, "Now, why don't you try this one?" The archer saw the log. He looked down into the deep chasm and the abyss, and he realized he doesn't have the power, the confidence, the strength, the steadiness to step on to that log. The master looked at the archer's uncertainty and commented, "My dear boy, you have control over your bow and the arrow, but you do not have sufficient control over the mind which lets loose that arrow." And therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitaha shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoho." When a person controls his mind, then that mind control actually connects him to a superior power. And then he goes beyond happiness, distress, pain, pleasure, all kinds of dualities. And then he experiences the highest attainment of life. What is that? Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tata yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Having attained this, he realizes there is no greater thing to be attained. And what is that? The deep-rooted satisfaction which cannot be disturbed by any kind of external circumstance. Let us try to conquer over our inner desires, the anarthas, the lower self, and try to control our mind and our senses, and ultimately attain the supreme destination.